Most students dream of financial freedom, and I'm not talking about ramen money, I'm talking about a real $10,000 a month that will actually make physical difference in your life. So the first pillar, or I'm going to be covering three pillars of basically the most important parts of this and how to get to this mark as a student. So pillar one is always going to be the right vehicle. So you've got to make sure you're choosing the right vehicle. If you don't have the right vehicle, everything else is bound to fail. If your initial margins, or if your business model only allows small margins, and margins meaning profit at the end of the day, actual profit margins. If your business allows for very small profit margins and not big profit margins, you are kind of failed from the beginning. Especially as someone that's earning under $10,000 a month, you don't have the scalability in order to make any money. So you need to look at the right agency, or you need to look at the right model. Now, I'm not saying agency is the one for you, but I'm saying potentially one of these is the right one for you. Now, I know freelancing, copywriting, remote sales, closers, appointment setters, all these people have really high profit margins at the end of the day. So these are things that obviously knowing now you can leverage and start. Agency obviously is very great, and I am in an agency, so I'll talk specifically about agency as the right pathway. So the right pathway for agency, and why I think it's the best pathway, is because if you look at, say, my old career, something I did previously, which was trading, if you have a lot of money, or let's say $10,000, $20,000, which is a lot of money if you're trying to earn your first $10,000 a month, it's very, very hard. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to turn that into double. Let's say you want to turn it into 40, which is not that much money. The risk and how long it's going to take you, yeah, it's never going to work. Trading or something like that requires a high capital in a lot of cases in order to flip it. So that's why I don't like meme coins for beginners. That's why I don't like trading for beginners. Yeah, not the best industry for people with no money. Now, if you have hundreds of millions of dollars, even millions of dollars, yes, it is a good industry if you can learn it, because then your ability to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year is obviously quite good with a very small time commitment. But yeah, back to agency. If you look at agency, the profit margins are great. So you're looking at somewhere between 50 and 70% profit margins, depending on how you run your agency. Now, I run mine quite lean. I like to run it quite efficiently. And I keep that in mind going forward when I'm setting my pricing, when I'm doing my service, when I'm outsourcing. So yeah, this is why I think agency is probably like one of the better ones. Because if you can keep a 70% profit margin on all revenue, that's incredible. So that means you only have to earn, let's say you earn $10,000 a month in revenue, you're earning about $7,000. Now, if we look at an e-commerce or drop shipping example, if they earn 100, 200,000, they're only making 10% net profit margins. So they'll have to do 100,000 in revenue in order to make 10 grand. It's not that great. So it's quite hard. And I know everyone looks at the dropshipping model as like kind of fancy and out there and whatnot, but yeah, a lot of the times it's not as good as it's been made out to be. It's very difficult. Obviously, some people do it very successfully, but people do everything successfully. So in every industry, there are outliers that do things quite successfully. Um, but yeah, I'd rather choose something with a very, very high profit margin, a lot more user friendly, and that just requires a time commitment and some sort of brains, right? Where you need to, there's certain things you need to just keep on track, which we'll kind of talk about. So the second pillar is all about the time horizon. Now, if I say, okay, you want to earn $10,000 a month, whatever it may be, and you're 16, you can do it at your age. That's not a problem. The age is not a thing. But look at the time horizon. You're not going to hit it in a month. You're not going to hit it in 2 months. You're not going to hit it in 3 months. Now, there are outliers that do hit it in these time periods, but a lot of the times you look at it at too short of a time frame. You need to be looking at it much higher, much, much higher of a time frame. Years. Now, it took me 1 year, a bit over a year to hit my first $10,000 a month in agency. So, I mean, just even look at that, right? And I had a lot of really, really great mentors at the time, but it just takes time. All these things just take time. Now, I said there's outliers, and I want you to be one of those outliers that hit in 2, 3 months. Um, but yeah, you need to be looking at things at a higher time horizon. I think even Aman, who I got this video idea off, but I wanted to reiterate and put it in front of my own audience, right? He said that like even if you earned $4,000 or $5,000 a month, which puts you better than average wage, especially in Australia, um, and you had time freedom and financial freedom, you're in like the top 5% of people. It's only now that we're seeing these Lambos and 16-year-olds making millions, and we have access to everyone all over the world, billionaires' sons, everything like that, that we're seeing people flex, supercars, Lamborghinis, all this stuff isn't even a flex anymore, because you got 17, 8-year-old, 19, 20-year-olds driving it every day. So your perception of reality is very skewed in the sense where if you earn $5,000 a month, you think you're not doing enough. And if you earn it over, say, it takes you 2 years to earn that, then you think you're very hard on yourself. But realistically, you're in the top percentage of earners. So this is why the second pillar is so important. You need to not think of it in terms of months. It takes time to learn these things. It takes time to learn teams. It takes time to learn how to manage everyone. It takes time to overcome mental beliefs and barriers. So you need to be looking at this in form of years. Now, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So that's kind of what I have to say on that. Now, the next piece is very important for long term success. So, this is the third pillar. Now, the third pillar is hitting things consistently. Making $10,000 a month once, opposed to making it consistently, is a very different ball game. Making it consistently over time is much harder. So, at around that $5,000 to $7,000 to $8,000 a month in the agency space, you're gonna have to take a hit of your margins. You're gonna have to take a hit of those profit margins in order to outsource to a better team. Now, you might think, why would I want to make less money? Now, this frees up your time to actually prospect, so your team can deliver an A1 service while you're prospecting, which actually enables you to grow. So it's kind of, you have to take a step up to take a step, and then a step back to take another step up. So this is when you kind of focus on your client retention, focus on acquisition, focus on scaling your services, right? And you have to improve and adapt and become better than the market. You need to make sure your team's on board and trying to constantly improve. So the third key is, trying to hit it consistently is very different. A lot of your time will be spent on acquisition, and if you outsource to your team correctly, then all your time will be spent on acquisition and retention. And that's all it is. You have to really reinvest in yourself. You're not just going to scale the way you initially scaled. You have to change up and reinvent yourself and do things a little bit differently. Now, you also need to think of $10,000 as your new normal benchmark. Your mindset needs to shift around this number, and you need to look from maintaining it, a position of maintaining or getting to that point, to exceeding it. So that's kind of one of the key differences. But yeah, they're kind of the three pillars that I believe are the most important. Make sure you're picking the right business model, something with high profit margins, right? This is very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. Again, making sure that you're seeding your time horizons correctly. If you don't hit it in 6 months, don't be down on yourself. Just keep trying. Okay. And then the third is hitting it consistently, which is going to require a team, and it's going to require acquisition and retention, and you leveling up as an agency owner in order to get to that next level. If you were someone that could hit that 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, you would have already hit it. So if you're at a certain benchmark, that means you're at of a person that's at that level. You're meant to be at that level based on your mindset and how you operate. So if you want to get to that next level, you need to figure out how to improve and go beyond that point. So hopefully that helps, and I will see you in the next one.